This is Jim Nailon, liturgical guitarist. I'm going to share my arrangement of the hymn Drawn to You by Sarah Hart. I'll play through it first, and then we'll go through it and talk about it. Okay. Now I think in the hymnal this would be played in C with a capo on the first fret, because it looks like it's in D flat. What a terrible key. Anyway, so right from the beginning here, C. So there's the dotted 8th, 16th rhythm there in that first beat. And I don't usually talk about right hand technique much. I let you figure that out. But in this case, you want to get that the 16th note and then the second quarter note by alternating your third and second fingers. I do it. You can do it either way. You can do AM or third finger, second finger, or you can do it MA, third finger, or second finger, third finger. But on all of these dotted notes like that, in the next measure, you're going to want to do an alternate. You can't, unless you're super fast, a lot faster than I am, you can't. I guess you can do it with the same finger. But it's... You can do it, okay. Anyway, never mind. Do it however you like. So then the next second measure, E minor, same thing. Then we're gonna going into the third measure. We're gonna slide. We're not gonna glissando it, though I do a little bit, up into this cheating F chord that I do a lot of. And then slide down on the little finger. And then the little finger's still there on the C chord on the third fret of the first string. And G. And hammer on there. Then measure 5, same thing. This time I hammer on that. You don't have to if you don't want to. Same thing, slide up on the F. Now measure 8, start of the third line. Excuse me. Excuse me, I need a drink of water. Okay. Measure 8. I see. So I wrote it with a bar for people with small hands, going into measure 9. And I would put that bar down on the that dotted 16th at the end of, the 16th note at the end of measure 8. Otherwise, you got to go. And those of you that are used to barring those Fs, you're probably fast enough to do that. But I always use my thumb around, and so I'm not that proficient and don't really like the F chord, especially now that I'm getting arthritis in my hands, and it's hard to. That's one of the harder chords for me to play. That's the way to do it, right? Put the first finger down, anticipate that F, and then on the second half of that measure 9, the C chord. So this is all just instrumental fill here. The lyric and the melody have ended, and there's a measure of piano fill or whatever. So I just made up this fill here for it. So you don't want, it's not melody, but it's kind of nice. So starting on that C chord at the second half of measure 9. And when you play that 16th note, the 4/16 notes, the bass run, you're on a C chord, so you get your second finger's already there to pull off on the 4th string, 2nd fret. And then your third finger would be on the C, and instead of doing this kind of a pull-off, it's easier to just slide down on that third finger. So a pull-off on the second, then slide down on the third, then you're in an A minor, and then a hammer-on the 5th string, and then a G, and then you're into the F. So let's play that whole third line. So now back into the melody again. And if you're barring, so on measure 11, the first measure of the last line there on page 1, so you'd be. And then to the C, with the 9th there, the 4th finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And a little bass figure here. Hammer on the 5th string, and then G, and then. So that's kind of a nice little guitar riff there. The little finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and then slide it as a grace note, and then the open 1st string, and then into the A minor at the top of page 2. So let's start on the verse. I'll try and do bars here. So first measure of the last line of page 1, where it says verses on the F chord. And you don't want to play a full F chord. Just play with your. You got to have your little finger free here. So just play with the 1st or 2nd and 3rd fingers. Hammer on C, 16, second line, C. Then a B flat. Then an F bar. And then move the third finger over to the, from the third fret of the fifth string to the third fret of the sixth string for that F over G. And lift your bar off, keeping your third finger on the G bass. Okay. Now, so let's talk about that last two measures of that second line. It's all barred on the first fret, except for the very last beat. And I fingered it. I wrote in fingering for people that can play their B flat like this, which I don't like to do that. It's easier for me to just, I'm kind of double jointed in my fingers a little bit, so I just lay the little finger down. And then the F. And then just lift that third finger over and lift off, except for the third finger. And then you're back to the del capo, back to the front. So you go back to the refrain and play through that. Second line. And we're getting ready to go to the coda. We're on the third line. And at the end of that first measure, you go to the coda, and it has this ending that's kind of spooky. I don't know. It's different. So it's definitely an ending. It closes things out. So, but it's of a different character than the rest of the piece. So anyway, let's go through that in the coda there. So just a C, and it's more sparse than the rest of the arrangement too. The E minor. Now, in the sheet music, where they write out this melodic figure for the ending, it goes ba-dum bum bum bum. So it's the last beat's a dotted eighth and a 16th. I keep it even the first time, and I put the dotted eighth on the second time. I liked it that way better. So from the top again of the coda. Nothing hard here. But now here we're going to do a dotted eighth. Bum, bum, bum. You can put a little retard in there too. So anyway, it's a beautiful, beautiful song. Works well for communion or preparation of gifts. And again, Sarah Hart does it again. So can't say enough about her as a composer. Anyway, so that's all I have on that one. Look for more arrangements at liturgicalguitarist.com. I pray God blesses your playing, and I wish you peace.